See when we get some folks in here. Detroit and Cleveland in the fourth quarter right now, just starting. Score is 89-87. Detroit is up by 2. Cleveland is playing without James Harden and Donovan Mitchell tonight. This could be an Eastern Conference. This could be an Eastern Conference preview. This could be an Eastern Conference preview right here. What up, Alf? What's good? What's good? Watching some of this NBA action, man. I got the Cavs and Pistons on right now. Your squad plays tomorrow. Got a early afternoon game against the Hornets. What's up with Sharp, man? Any updates on his injury? I know you've been keeping up with it. Yep, they play the Hornets tomorrow. Hornets been playing cool, man. We'll see how that rolls. 4 to 6 weeks. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks. Well, reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. So damn. Let's see, where do they stand right now? Number 9. So they're holding on for their play-in lives. Best case scenario for them, they stay in the hunt for the play-in. So they're in the top 10 right now. They're in the 9th spot. So you said he's got pre-shin splints. You don't think he plays again this season? Do you think there's a reason for him to return? Would you like to see them give maximum effort in the play-in? What's good, y'all? See more folks in the building, man. Let me know where you from in the chat. Rep your city. I'm watching some of this NBA action right now. Cleveland versus Detroit in the fourth quarter. Detroit is struggling against Cleveland today without James Harden and without Donovan Mitchell. So that's a bit of a surprise to me. Rosa Lee, hi. Appreciate you. How you doing? Shout out to you. Anybody else, let me know where you watching from. Rep your city in the chat. Let's see, Alf, you said seems like every injury Portland has gone at least a month over its first timetable. Yeah, it could be that they're just, they know they're not gonna make a real push this season, right? Not a real championship contender, so maybe they don't want to risk, players like Sharp for that reason. Young, got some talent, so we'll see. Rosalie in the building. Where are you from? Let me know. Shout out to you. Oh, dang. You said Scoop was supposed to miss the first month. Let me ask you about that, Alf, for Portland. Do you think Henderson is the answer at PG going forward for the future? Or do you see them trying to make a splash for more PG and perimeter play in the draft? We'll see. But since it's your squad, I'd like to know what your take is on it. And anybody watching, if you're a basketball fan, we're getting to that point to where we'll be starting to get into the playoffs, who do you guys have going to the finals? Even if we're talking just conference finals, who you guys have? Conference finals and then NBA finals. I think that tonight's matches in particular, Cleveland and Detroit, this could be a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, depending on how the seeding shakes out. And then the game that you'll see later on tonight, um, with the Nuggets and OKC, that could be a preview of what's going to happen in the Western Conference Finals. So we'll see. Um, it's only lottery protected, and I think Portland is more than likely going to win in the play-in. Oh, you think so? You think Portland? You think Portland's going to win in the play-in? Okay, right now the play-in has the Suns, Golden State, Portland, and the Clippers. I don't know who's going to win in that out of that bunch. That's 7 through 10 in the West. Suns, Golden State, Portland, and the Clippers right now. The Clippers could be the surprise. I don't know. The Warriors are struggling. Um, I wasn't sure if they were gonna make a push to get out of that bottom 7. Phoenix is a scrappy team, dog. So Phoenix could surprise you and end up doing some damage in that play in. Whoever it is, it's a first round exit for them. So they're just playing to see who gets the first round exit. I don't see any of them teams beating OKC in the first round, um, or the Spurs. I don't think the Spurs will overtake OKC, but I mean, shit, who knows? There's a possibility. They're right now just a game and a half behind, so that's becoming a tight race for regular season first place. But either way, I think the Spurs or the Thunder will beat any of the 4 teams that are in a play-in spots right now: Phoenix, Golden State, Portland, Clippers. And that's probably, you can go out on a strong limb and say that that's the way the play-in is going to stay, that group of teams, because next in line at 11 is the Memphis Grizzlies, but they're like 5 games behind the Clippers. So I doubt that they'll end up making up ground. So you're looking at those 4 teams. But Alf, you pretty confident, man. Oh, you think the Nuggets win it all this season? Okay. I think they got a chance to get into the Western Conference Finals and the finals for sure, but Western Conference for sure. But again, you do have to see how the seeding uh shakes down, because the Spurs look pretty strong too, right? Which is a surprise to a lot. Maybe not as many as you thought it would be, because I know some people were expecting the Spurs to do well, but they're hooping, and I think low key they may have OKC's number. That's a tough matchup for OKC. It's definitely not a just a shoe in for them. The Spurs been handling them in the regular season, but the Nuggets got a chance for sure. Shit, we'll see how it goes down with them in OKC tonight. I mean, but these are only previews, right? And tonight is not a real preview. Cleveland is up by 5 against Detroit. It's like 7 minutes to go. You would expect that Detroit will win this game, especially with Cleveland without their top two guys, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, but they're struggling. The Pistons are down. But again, in a 7-game series, I think this one could go either way. Top four teams for me in the East, these two, Cleveland, Detroit, and then New York and Boston. And Boston is also a surprise. I'm surprised Boston is playing as well as they are. They were let's see, is Boston still number 2? Boston is still number 2 in the East. Yep. So as it stands, Boston would play Orlando. But again, that's if Orlando stays at number 7 and Miami at 8. Miami, I don't know who. So this is, I said, the play-in teams for the West. These are the play-in teams for the East. It's Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, and Charlotte. Um, Out of this bunch, I said Charlotte is playing better. I just think the Hawks and the Magic probably have they probably have a better shot at coming out of there. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Hawks and the Magic getting the 7th and 8th spot. But again, the top two teams being Detroit and Boston, I think will handle those two teams. But I think the Hawks could make it a an exciting series, man. I think they can make it an exciting series. Um, but yeah, I mean, shit, the way that it is right now with Cleveland, New York, Cleveland's at 4, New York's at 3, Boston's at 2, Detroit's at 1. Those are actually my top 4, and I'd put them probably in this order: Detroit, Cleveland, Boston, New York, as far as who I think would actually end up coming out of the East. Detroit, Cleveland, Boston, New York. The thing with Boston is we got to see if Jason Tatum is going to end up coming back. I don't think he wants to be left out of this, a deep playoff run. If that's what ends up happening with them, he probably want to be a part of that. But we've talked about that a couple times, and said that it'd probably be a good idea for him to just do what your boy Lillard is doing, Alf, and just kind of sit out and chill. Um, you said if Tatum comes back and is serious, I think Boston makes some noise. I think so. I think so, but you got to see how they bring Tatum into the fold. Like, it's crazy to say that because he's their franchise player, but he's been out all year and they've been playing well. And then when he comes back, if that kind of throws off some of their chemistry going into the playoffs, you know, who knows? Let's see. New York sacrificed being a title contender the moment they paid Cat 60 mil a year. You think so? Um, well, I mean, you heard what we were talking about last time where Shaq was trying to tell him that he's the 2 in the 1-2 punch with Jalen Brunson. So he definitely has to be that guy who brings it every night, especially at his position, center position. But he's like let me not even say center, power forward. He's a stretch 4, right? Can play the center, but he's a 4, a power forward, and doesn't really go down low too much. He shoots a lot of threes. Either way, that's what the Knicks do. They have kind of adapted to him in that style. I don't know if that's something, the way that they play is sustainable, let's say, for beating a team like the Pistons or even the Pistons, the Cavs, or the Celtics. all of those teams are actually scrappy type teams. I remember last year we were talking about Boston and actually not Boston, we were talking about New York and the Pacers. And I kept saying to the crew, Bong and KP, I kept telling them that Indiana was a really scrappy team and a dangerous team who could go far in the playoffs, man. Ended up going to the finals. I'm not going to say I predicted that or expected that, but they were a scrappy team. This year, if I look at Cleveland, Detroit, Boston, and the Knicks, I would say, all of them are pretty scrappy. All of them are pretty scrappy, but the Knicks look better to me probably last year. And I think the Pistons have taken a step forward, and maybe the Knicks have taken half a step back or so. But who knows? Anything can happen in the series, coaching strategies and matchups and stuff like that. But I think, just like I'm saying, Detroit is a problem for the Knicks, just like the Spurs are a problem for OKC. So those are, if I'm looking at probably bad matchups for teams, I think the Spurs are a bad matchup for OKC. Probably that they probably give them the most trouble. And then Detroit, I can't say Detroit gives New York the most trouble. I think any of the other three will give New York trouble. I don't see New York come, not to hate on your Knicks. If anybody's is a Knicks fan, I just don't know if the Knicks are going to make it happen this year. So, is a fan getting thrown out the game? Yeah, it looks like they throwing a fan out the game. Yeah, but the Cavs got some sneaky like good pickups like Schroeder, Dennis Schroeder, good pickup. Second unit PG can definitely be effective, can score, get other people involved, push the pace, play some defense. He's a solid player all around. People were clowning him when he didn't take that extension with the Lakers back back then, but I mean, still is a good player to have on your roster. And then Jared Allen, who just scored, he's also a solid piece to their puzzle. Um, let's see. Jared Allen has 21 points tonight. Yeah, 9 for 11 from the field in 26 minutes, 21 points. That's solid, man. 21 and 8. Okay, so Mobley and Allen are leading the charge. They're two bigs. Both are about on the verge of having double doubles. Mobley has 20 and 9. Allen has 21 and 8. So if you have them playing well, and then throw obviously Harden and Mitchell in the mix, like the Cavs are dangerous too. But my thing with them is I was just wondering if they were going to get over the hump. Like last year, I was talking about that with them and just wasn't quite sure. But let's see what you got here. Alf, you said the Indy team last year was special. They were a matchup nightmare for everyone. Yeah, man, that's because they played together. Like they didn't care. Like they didn't care who. No real like superstar or no real star. Um, just a gritty team that played defense and got after it. So yeah, they're definitely a problem and will be next year, I believe. But you got to see how Halliburton is when he comes back. That's going to be a big indicator of how things are going for them. But I always say, man, it takes 2 years after injury like that, an Achilles tear. So, and you say just imagine the Pacers adding the top 3 pick. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. That is gonna be crazy. Top 3 pick, Halliburton comes back. They could definitely be a problem. But I'm saying for real, probably like the year in 2 years when Halliburton is really settled into like his new body, so to speak, like how he can move, cut, and all that stuff off of his Achilles. Um, but yeah, adding a top 3 pick, yeah. Pistons trying to make a late push, man. Cunningham is a hooper. Kay Cunningham is a hooper. I'm glad he's balling now, man. When folks were trying to write him off as a bust for a minute, you know. Hey, Alf, man, listen. Don't remind me that they have Zubac. I know they do. I know the Clippers squandered things. I don't know why they gave up Zubac. Should have kept him, man. But that's a great pick for the Pacers. Very solid pick for the Pacers. And yeah, it'll be cool to watch them next year. You're right. And I think the Pacers Pacers are going up, Clippers are in the other direction. One thing I'm wondering, man, is what's gonna happen with the Clippers in the offseason because I could see them trading Kawhi Leonard, especially if you're talking about blowing the whole thing up. I could see them trading Kawhi Leonard and getting some draft capital, because they really don't have that because they leveraged their picks when it came down to trying to pick up Paul George in that deal when they matched him up with Kawhi Leonard. And we see, what the end result of that was. And that's another team I was talking about, the Sixers. I was saying the Sixers were going to be a sleeper, like a dark horse in the East. But, losing Paul George right now, that 25 games, I don't know how far he is into the suspension. I think when he comes back, it's only a handful of games left. But when he comes back, how's that going to look? Are they going to have a rhythm, going into the first round? I think they're sitting at the 6th seed right now. And who would that put them against? I think the Knicks. 76ers and the Knicks as it stands, the way the seeding would go right now. I don't know if I don't see them beating the Knicks. Now I know I was talking about the Knicks earlier, but I got the Knicks beating Philly if they match up. Um nah, Alf, you saying plus Matherin for who? The Clippers have Matherin. Oh, you saying this for the Clippers? You say you either get a top 5 to 9 pick this year or 2 unprotected first in a few years plus Matherin. Okay, yeah, you're talking about the Clippers. Yeah, I mean, listen, as a fan, yeah, and you're saying you meant it in the Zubac package. Yeah, as a fan um of the Clippers and Zubac and the way he's played and what he brought to the franchise, like I wasn't happy to see him get traded. If you're rebuilding and saying, fuck it, we gonna start from scratch, um, it wasn't a bad return, right? It's not a bad return. Getting a high draft pick this year. Um, Matherin's a good player. Matherin's offensive minded. He likes to shoot. And KP was talking about that, saying that Matherin will shoot everything that touches his hands. So, you got to kind of figure out what kind of scheme you're going to run with him and get him to buy into sharing. I would say that. Um, but I'm not mad at the return. It's just, when you break the team up, you like, oh, I hate to see this, but I'm not mad at what they got in return. And then Bradley Beal, is Bradley Beal will be in the fold next year, I'm assuming. Um, we'll see if they trade Kawhi Leonard and Jordan Miller, the young point guard out of Miami. I like his game. Lefty out of Miami, I like his game. Um, he'll get a chance to really kind of show more of what he has throughout the remainder of the season to really kind of see where he fits or where they see him fitting. But I don't know if they would roll him out as the starter for next year. They're probably gonna try to make some more moves in the offseason. Um, because spending all that money on the arena and all that stuff and the move to Inglewood and all the noise behind it, like you got to put together a competitive squad to put some asses in the seats. Out here in LA, you want to talk about folks can be fair weather for sure. And there's other shit to do out here, like, you gotta be good. Shit, that goes for the Lakers too, man. I mean, shit, you can see dips in attendance there as well. If you suck, pause. But yeah, um, we'll see what happens with the Clippers, man. And that'll be here sooner than you know it. We were just talking about you, Alf, doing your pre-draft analysis and stuff coming up on the NFL draft and shit. Super Bowl happened and then bam, here we are. Combine and all that stuff is already here. The draft around the corner. So, and Alf, you'll have to make sure as we continue to get on these lives, you let the folks know what your channel is and stuff too, because we're gonna shout you out so we can try to get some people to watch your stuff as well. Always appreciate you rocking with us and being in here for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean Cleveland's pulling away in this, man. It was tight in the third quarter, but it looks like it's a lot of time left. 4 minutes, a lot of basketball left, as they say. But um, Detroit hasn't found a groove all night. Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is a good fit, um, good player to have. I know I hear a lot of people talk about him, and sometimes people rag on folks who they think have more potential. I think that's the thing with him. People expected him to be a star, and he's just been consistently a solid player, which isn't a bad thing. Like he's a hooper, but I'm just speaking on why I think some folks may, when you say Tobias Harris, they'll give some criticism, but um, I'll give you Shaden Sharp, Yang Hansen, both of the Milwaukee swaps in 2028, 2030, and unprotected Orlando pick in 2028 for Kawhi. Hell yeah, I would take that deal. You would do that for Kawhi Leonard right now? Alf, you would do this deal as the Portland Trailblazers GM. You would do this right now for Kawhi Leonard. I would tell you, thank you. Let's go. I'd make that deal. How much longer do you think Kawhi Leonard will play in the NBA at a consistently at a very very high level? considering injuries and all of that type of stuff. Like, yeah, I'll take your young star, budding star, and some picks. Hell yeah. And this would be your lineup. Listen, you would be a competitive team, but not a championship team. If you make that deal for Kawhi Leonard, the Blazers would be a competitive roster, not a championship roster. They'd probably play a competitive first round and then be done. And you got to see where they end up seeding wise. Uh-oh, Bong is in the building. He said considering he only plays half the season, and I know you speaking of Kawhi. Bong, did you see what Alf is saying he would give up for Kawhi Leonard right now? I'll put it back up on the screen. This is who he's saying. This is what he's saying he would give up to get Kawhi Leonard on the Blazers. As the Clippers, I'm taking that deal. I'm for sure taking that deal. I think you underestimate how stellar this Portland team is when they shoot the ball even at a mediocre level. No, Alf, I'm saying this, right? I'm saying which the roster the starting lineup you threw out there, because I like Klingen's game too. Like he was a good pickup for them. What I'm saying to you is look at the direction the Clippers are going, right? If you give me all that you listed, I'll take a Shaden Sharp and some picks, especially if I'm on a rebuild, right? What would you say? What phase would you say Portland is in? Are they in a rebuild? Or are they in a mode where it's like let's get some vets in here so we can compete? Are they still in that mode? Like we want to have a honorable give Damian Lillard an honorable discharge from the NBA. We don't want to just suck and be terrible. We want to be competitive for his final year or two in Portland, or three, depending on how Lillard comes back from the injury. Okay, and you said need to win for Dame. So that's exactly what I'm saying. If you're in that mode, so do you understand what I'm saying, Alf? If you're in that mode and those are you want to get the star now, I'll take the picks and your young star. I'll take them. And I think, you get that's a situation where hey, the Blazers will probably get what they want right now and the Clippers will get what they're looking for too. Let's see. All reports say Portland were huge suitors for Giannis and were willing to give up a huge package, pause, until Giannis said he didn't want to be in Portland. Um, why would Giannis go to Portland? It didn't work with him and Lillard in Milwaukee. So why would he go to Portland? I don't Yeah, I mean he's already seen that. He's already had a preview of that. So yeah, I don't blame him. And I'm not shitting on Lillard. I'm saying it from Lillard's standpoint too. Why would he go somewhere with Giannis if the shoe was on the other foot? Like they've already played together. They see what's up. Like maybe they're just not a good fit for each other's game. Like I don't know where Giannis wants to go, and I really I got tired of hearing the back and forth about um the Bucks wanting to trade him and not trade him and all that stuff. It just got to a point to where it's like, dog, if you about to trade this motherfucker, just send him somewhere or just shut the fuck up and play with the roster that you have. Bong said, "Go out on their shield." Yeah, that's exactly what your squad is doing, Alf. Going out on the shield. if they make that trade and win for Dame. You say Dame and Giannis didn't work because of circumstance. Did you see what the hell Brook Lopez was doing the past 2 seasons in Milwaukee? Hey, I see what the hell Brook Lopez is doing now in LA. So I'm aware. Um, but I listen, okay. If you feel like you want to see him run it back in Portland, go ahead. I wouldn't put my money on them coming to the West. They did that shit in the Eastern Conference, coming to the West and winning. No, I don't think so. You say you think Doc Rivers was a problem? Hey, well, I don't know. Milwaukee's got a lot of issues to figure out, and it looks like they'll be without Giannis in another year or so. What they better do is figure out where he wants to go and what kind of deal they want to work out, because he's in his prime, and yes, he's had some injuries as far as the strained calf and all of that stuff, but he hasn't had a catastrophic injury where he's actually had a tear or something like an Achilles tear or nothing like that. So his value in terms of big market free agents and all that stuff is still up there. So if they're trying to get some picks to rebuild and stuff, they better work some shit out this offseason and really figure it out. And if it don't happen this offseason before, he becomes a free agent, they better make a deal, make a trade so they can get something back in return and just not let him walk out the door. They'd be idiots to let that happen. And I don't think that they will. So, Alf, I see that. The Pistons only down 2 now. I see that. Listen, they should win this game. It shouldn't even be this close. Shouldn't even be this close. This is crazy, right? This is ridiculous. And I don't even think Duran is back too, so I don't think the Pistons are missing anybody. Yeah. Duran has played 35 minutes tonight. 25 and 12, so putting up numbers. They got 3 players. 2 of them have double doubles. Asar Thompson is close to a double double. He has 18 and 7. Duran has 25 and 12. Kay Cunningham has 25 and 10. You get 3 players playing like that. You gotta have dudes like, come on, Tobias Harris. You gotta fill in the gaps. And Schroeder, and for Cleveland is, let's see, he has 8 and 9, so he almost has a double double, 8 points, 9 assists. So he's playing well. Jalen Tyson is playing cool. So they're supporting, and then Sam Merrill, he has 19 points. They're supporting the 2 bigs. So that's what's keeping them going. That's what's making this keeping Cleveland in the lead, rather, making it a close game, because these are the games that Detroit you got to put away. Can't play with your food, man. You said JB Bickerstaff wanted to prove a point to the Cavs. What point? You got Cade Cunningham on the bench now. Schroeder's got the ball. They're up by 3 now. Now it's getting into just about a minute left. I should get my chick Hearns on Schroeder at the top of the key. Yo, goes to the basket, blows the layup. Foul is called. Yeah, man. Again, I like Schroeder's game. But right now, you got let's see it. How many fouls does Cunningham have? He fouled out. Yeah, Cunningham is fouled out. Oh yeah, Detroit might be done. Cunningham's fouled out, down by 3, less than a minute left, and it looks like let's see how many fouls does Duran have. Okay, he's only got one. Duncan Robinson is who has 5. Uh, this might be a wrap for them. I'm gonna probably take a break, but leave it live. I'm gonna get back on here when this when they switch to this Denver OKC game. Right now, that's the score in that one is 12-11. So that could be a back and forth game for the duration. We'll see. Um, Jokic has been hooping, and I think he has one more game. He can miss one more game, or if he misses one more game, then he's out of the hunt for all NBA, MVP, all those types of awards. So we'll see if he ends up playing for the remainder of the season, not missing a game. But he's been hooping. 110-107 Detroit, less than a minute left. What y'all got? What y'all got, Cleveland? Oh, did they called that? Okay, this is the Detroit has the ball. Oh, that was actually a nice out of bounds play. They got it. They got it to Duran, but Allen fouled him. I would review that though and see if that was a clean block. Ooh. Yeah, it's the foul would probably stand. Yeah. Duran got to knock down these free throws, make it a 1 point game. Detroit's not done. Yeah, Detroit is not done. Duran knocked down the first. So now it's a 2 point game. And he's shooting 73% this year. For your big, that's not bad. So let's see if he knocks this down. 48 seconds left. They're down by 2. He knocked it down. It's a 1 point game. So while I'm talking all this shit saying, you know, it was a wrap, they're down by 1 point. 110-109 Cleveland. And there's Schroeder to the basket. Puts him back up by 3. Telling you, man. He's a difference maker on the second unit. He'll be a key piece in the playoffs. Watch. Oh, good block. Mobley. Man, Mobley and Allen, two good bigs, man. Defensively, too. They both rebound, they both play defense, and they're efficient around the basket. And you know, Mobley has a nice shooting touch too. So all kinds of reasons why you can say Cleveland is a contender. I mean, look at what they're doing against Number one team in the East right now without their two top guns, their two top guys. But Detroit will be without their top guy, Cade Cunningham, because he fouled out. So for this last 30 seconds, they got to see what they're going to make happen without Cade Cunningham. Alf, you may be a little bit of, I don't know, your stream might be a little bit ahead of mine. I got 27 seconds left right now. What you got? Bong says, like the Dallas Bigs that year Luka made a run. Yeah. Yeah. That roster definitely had a few guys on there that did played similar, rebounds, could shoot, play some defense. Daniel Gafford. Oh, miss Duncan Robinson with the rebound. And nope, almost a turnover. Detroit takes the three. Oh, put back down by 1, 13 seconds. Timeout Cleveland. Timeout Cleveland. Man, whoo-wee. This ended up being a decent game, man. Especially when you look up and see Harden and Donovan Mitchell wasn't playing, you probably be like, "Ah, man, it's about to be some bullshit." This is actually a decent game. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look at how the other games played out tonight. Um, let's see. Minnesota ended up beating. My brother went to that Minnesota game last night. Minnesota and Clippers. I think that was his first time seeing Anthony Edwards live. He ended up hitting that three basically to win the game. And we'll see how this last 13 seconds plays out. But yeah, Bong, to that point though, yeah. I said Gafford. Who else did they have? Lively, PJ Washington. This is that Dallas squad when Luka and Kyrie when they made the run. What was going on right there? We got to get some sideline plays in, man. Come on, coach. Give me something that gets it in Schroeder's hands or okay. Neither one of the players I named got the ball. So we'll see how these free throws go down. I was saying run some action for Schroeder or Merrill, Sam Merrill. Merrill is already 4 for 4 from the line, and so is Schroeder. Both are 4 for 4. Hit the first. 2-point game. Let's see how it goes. Second free throw coming up. 113, 111. About 11 seconds left. Bong said, "And is a fool, cussing the coach out." Yeah, he telling him, "I do this shit. I do this." Oh, missed the second. Let let him get the rebound. Listen, it's when it comes down to these parts of the game, 10 seconds left, free throw line, the fundamentals count. Box out, get the rebound. Like, come on, Duran, Tobias Harris, y'all got to get down there and get the rebound. And you have the advantage. You're on the block. They let him get it into Mobley. Man, 113, 111. Mobley, you can put this away at the line right now. He hasn't shot a free throw tonight. This is his first one. 6 seconds left. 6.5, 6.5. First free throw, no good. Still a one possession game. So Detroit is still in it. Box out this time. Who's on the block? I know Duran is down there. Who's on the other block? Tobias Harris. Come on, man. He made the second. It's a 3-point game. 6.5 seconds left. Oh, did he foul him in the act of shooting? Oh, are they calling this in the act of shooting? If so, that's 3 free throws. That looks like it's in the act of shooting. These motherfuckers fouled him in the act of shooting with 6 seconds left. First free throw is good. Man. Second free throw is good. Unbelievable. Jenkins at the line for this third free throw for Detroit. Hit them all. Came through in the pressure cooker. Let's see what's going on. 5 seconds left. 3, 2. Schroeder. Nope. Overtime. What the? Cleveland, y'all squandered that shit. Y'all squandered that. That was crazy. Yeah. What a game, right? What a game. Dennis Jenkins coming through. Hey, hitting them free throws at that point, knocking down all three, that was big. 114, 114 into regulation going into OT. Cleveland, y'all squandered that. Detroit, y'all got there, but let's see how y'all look without Cade Cunningham. I think Duran is the leading scorer right now for Detroit. He's got 29. Cade Cunningham had 25. Asar Thompson has 18. Tobias Harris, 9. Duncan Robinson, 8. Man. Those were Jenkins went to the line. He hadn't shot a free throw all game, so shout out to him. Hadn't shot a free throw all game, knocked down all three. Who fouled him? I gotta replay that shit and see who actually fouled him. What the fuck? I mean, if you got a foul to give, commit it early. Earlier than that for sure. You let the man run and get into his shooting motion. Come on, man. What are we doing? Was that Hollins? Or Holland, I mean, not Hollins. Yeah, he know that was a dumb foul. Tell him. But move on because now it's OT. So let's see what's popping. Shit. I can't call it now. Cleveland is at the crib, but they let Detroit get back into this. If you're Detroit, well, let's see who wins the tip. First possession, you guys need to go down to Duran. Straight up. Establish him. Go down low. Run some pick and roll action to his side or pick and pop with probably Duncan Robinson. See if you can get him out on the three or something. See if he can hit a cool streak in this OT period. But definitely go down to Duran. They lost the tip, so Schroeder has it up top. And they're running some screen and roll action with him and Mobley. Schroeder with the teardrop, missed. Detroit's got the rebound. Here we go. And Detroit's at the crib. My bad. I think I said Cleveland was. Detroit's at the crib. So they got all the momentum right now. Duran aggressively goes to the basket, gets fouled. Like I said, establish him. He's got to knock down these free throws. I mentioned earlier, 73% from the free throw line this season. Knocks down the first. So now this is their first lead in a minute. And he's had 4 consecutive games Duran has with 25 points and 10 rebounds. The first Piston to do that since Bob McAdoo in 1980? I wasn't even born then. Merrill. Oh, nice pass. Blew the layup. All right, Detroit, y'all got to score this possession. Is this Tobias Harris with the ball? Where's Duran? Go to Duran's side. Okay, screen and roll. Bam. Up by 4. Detroit is up by 4. Yee. And Cleveland just look like they're scrambling now. Bad shot. Detroit's got the rebound. So for the first few possessions, Cleveland's done nothing, and Detroit has scored on all 3. Duran again. I said you got to establish him, keep him going in this overtime period. He's got all 6 of their points. Oh, and they just let Cleveland hit a 3. So that cuts the lead in half, 120-117. But Jenkins and Duran on the 2-man game. Oh, looked like he traveled. Jenkins got the ball. Good pass. Rebound goes to Mobley. He almost lost it out of bounds. Schroeder's bringing it up. Let's see what they do. Schroeder on the 2-man game with, oh, okay. Schroeder's doing what Detroit is doing with Jenkins and Duren right now. Jenkins and Duren they're playing 2-man game, and then the action off of those two, if there's somebody else who's open, then they may, you know, draw and kick or whatever. But the main thing is trying to get it to Duren. The main deal with Cleveland should be Mobley and Schroeder on the 2-man game. Blew another layup. Yeah, well, Jenkins up top with the ball. Tobias Harris has it. Duren, get it to him. He has it now. Let's see what you got. Shoots a fadeaway air ball. Keeps Cleveland in the game. Still 121-17, only a 3-point difference. Schroeder with the ball to the basket. That should be an and one. It's a 1-point game, but they didn't call the foul. Play aggressively, but don't foul. There's no point in fouling. Timeout Detroit, 121-19. 153 left. Go ahead, Alf. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you being here, man. I'm gonna rock on out for a while with these games. Probably take a break and then see what's going on. Now it looks like Denver is pulling away from OKC 33-19 in that one. This overtime game between Detroit and Cleveland is still close. Only a 1-point difference. I see a few folks in the building, man. Where y'all at? Where y'all watching from? Folks tend to come in here and be silent and not say anything. Holla at me. Let me know where y'all at. Let me know where y'all watching from. And if you're even watching this game, Detroit and Cleveland is the game I'm watching right now. It's in OT, 120-119. Shit, and this one can go either way. And really now you're at a point where injuries have, James Harden out the game, and obviously Donovan Mitchell's not playing as well, so those two not playing. But on the other side with Detroit, foul trouble has eliminated Cade Cunningham, so he's out the game. $120-$119. Oh, bad pass. Turnover. And Cleveland's pushing. Now they got to get in the half court set. I would go Schroeder. Did they call a foul? NBA action, like, and I'm speaking of like team play and like actions off the ball and the main action with the ball. It's really just, it's a pick and roll or pick and pop kind of game. The guard, when you talking about sets, nobody's running like crazy half court sets. It's just pick and roll action and just move. A lot of corner, go set up in the corner and be a corner three guy. Make yourself available for the person driving. And Schroeder just had a turnover, and then Detroit turns it back over. That's a foul. Cleveland's going to go to the line and can potentially take the lead right now. But yeah, I mean, like I say, you got to have good guard play, like, and that's been always, but it's mainly just somebody who can really run Um, the pick and roll, somebody who can run the pick and roll, pick and pop, right? James Harden is great at that. Donovan Mitchell as well. So you have two guards in Cleveland who can do that. Kay Cunningham on the other side can do that. And Jenkins with Cunningham out has done a decent job of that with the two man game with Duran. But like I say, man, most times it's like if you want to call it a motion offense, not real. I mean, it's pick and roll, isolation, and then fast break basketball. You're not gonna see Princeton style, setting back picks and back cuts and all that stuff. I don't even really see like a lot of the old school V cuts, L cuts, curls, all that type of stuff like that. You don't really see that in the NBA like that because the guys camp out in the corner. Like you're seeing that in a lot of college basketball sets now too, where they'll have corner guys just camping out and just be ready for the three if we got to pass it to you. But we running some pick and roll action, high screen and roll with our best big and our guard. Everybody does it. It's just who has the better guys the guys who do it better. This is still a 1 point game, man. 10 point game on the other side, 33-23. OKC and Denver. Bong. Hey, Bong, I fucks with you. You said you riding personal assistant action. Fuck with your boy. Hey, we in here. We got to get busy, right? Shit. Time to make it happen. It had got popping earlier, man, when it first started. So D Rouse. You say SGA does it best to screen and roll. Um James Harden is good at it too. James Harden is good at it. Um I mean shit. I can't even Chris Paul officially retired, but he was damn good at it. Great at it. But SGA for sure, yeah. But D Rouse, that's what I'm saying. Like if you looking at and you could even say like I was saying college basketball too. Um but NBA basketball for sure, you just have a lot of corner three guys. So I'll put it to you this way, D Rouse. So think about because we played in the same system at one point. Think about running a motion set where you invert your bigs and your guards, right? And you may post your guards up, or you may have your bigs pinned down to your guards on the block, and then those guards decide, okay, am I running a curl? Am I doing a V cut? Am I running L cuts? Am I going down and crossing? Like it's a lot of stuff that you could run, but you don't really see that type of stuff in the NBA. And I mean, it's simple, like fundamental, basic basketball, like L cuts, V cuts, curls, and fades, and all of that stuff. Like if you really, really watch the game, like you'll just see somebody standing in the corner, like who's gonna fade there? Nobody, because somebody's already standing there waiting. Right now, you got three. There's no motion. You got three guys standing around. And then Tobias Harris takes a shot trying to split between two players. This is isolation or screen and roll, pick and roll. That's what the game looks like across the board in the league. And then sometimes, like if you have a shoot, like I'll say this: watch Curry. Curry makes a lot of the cuts that I'm talking about and does a lot of the things that I'm talking about. But they run a lot of their stuff based on what he does, right? But a team that like tries to incorporate like bigs and guards and stuff like that, like it's a lot of standing around. And it'll be the guard and that big man, and everybody else is just watching, like the people in the audience. Tobias Harris with a fade, uh, turnaround fade to his right shoulder, hits it. That was a big shot. 122, 119, 20 seconds left. And I mean, that was Holland again. Like Holland made the foul to send Jenkins to the line in regulation, and he just got cooked by Tobias Harris on that turnaround shot. Let's see. D. Rao says for sure, just the basic screen and roll. They ain't got no more time for all that other shit. Yeah, but shit, they need to make time for it sometimes. Like just standing around and if you ain't in transition and making transition baskets and causing turnovers and fast breaks and stuff like that, it's a lot of standing around and watching. But if you had motion and stuff, you could throw people off guard. Like if somebody decided, man, I'm just gonna back cut and make these cuts and all that stuff, like people would be open. Would they get the pass though? No, because they're not looking to play that type of style. You say spread offense because they can't play zone in the league. That's a cheat code against man defense. I mean, yeah. But when you playing man, it doesn't matter if you run those types of plays and have that type of action. If you're playing man and I invert my guard and my big, let's say it, you know, I had Mobley at the high post doing screening, he's doing screen and roll with Schroeder. And let's say everybody's healthy, right? I got Harden doing screen and roll with Mobley. So Mobley's high, uh, top of the key. Harden goes, they initiate the action, but off the let's say off the roll or the dive, you have Mitchell at the block and you send Mobley down to pin down for Mitchell. Now Mitchell can run some curl action or some fade action, use all those cuts. There's no way you would be able to stay with Donovan Mitchell. So in essence, Mobley setting two screens, the screen at the top for Harden, then pinning down for Donovan Mitchell, and then just invert. And if Mobley is setting a screen, pinning down and inverting, now if you can't get through his screen, I know they're doing all switches, but you're gonna get a lot of situations where you have, and Detroit ends up winning this 122 to 119. You have a lot of situations where you have a mismatch because you'll have a big trying to stay or at least show and cover against Donovan Mitchell. It's not gonna work. Mitchell will have a field day. Yeah, Cleveland gave this one away. They could have won. Detroit, they let Detroit back in here with the silly foul at the end of regulation. Because Detroit is not even, they made some mistakes blocking out and gave Cleveland a chance to win it at the line. I think it was Mobley who missed the free throw, missed the first, made the second, and still kept it out of one possession game. But shout out to them, man. You said agreed, not off the screen. That's too much motion going on. You think it's too much motion to send Mobley to screen off of Mobley screens at the top. The action is initiated with Harden and Mobley, whichever side Harden calls for the screen, right? And Donovan Mitchell is just on baseline reading that. So I know the side that Mobley picks and rolls to, I'm going to go to his roll side because he's going to dive down or actually roll down to screen for Mitchell. That's not a that's not a lot. I mean, it's actually really simple. I'm gonna have to get a goddamn board and start drawing out what I'm saying too. But I think you know what I'm saying, D Rouse, because then it's almost it's two man action. You said no, I'm saying no one would be, yeah, you no one would be able to stay with Mitchell. Yeah. It's two man action both ways. It's two man action with Harden and Mobley, and then it goes with Mobley and Mitchell. And you see what I'm saying? I don't think anybody could stay with Mitchell with that motion. So now I see what you're saying when you said too much motion going on. Yeah, they're not going to be able to hang with him, and that's why you see Curry getting so many open shots because he's running off of those screens and using those screens and is basically reading the play. Like Draymond Green may be at the top of the key, but the action is really what's good. Where's Curry? Who's pinning down for him? Is he curling off of somebody? Is he fading? Like he's the one who probably I would say is a good example of still using L cut, V cut, curls, fades, all that stuff. Iverson cuts, all that. But you look at some other games and this dude's is doing what I'm doing, sitting watching. Shit. College too. Now I guess they're gonna switch to this Denver game, so I'll see what's popping with this for a minute. D Ryle says, you think Detroit is fool's gold or the real deal? Um, I was saying earlier, man, I think Detroit is I think they're for real. I think they're the real deal. Tonight wasn't their best representation. You know, you're barely beating a struggling Cavaliers team that doesn't have their two top players. But in a 7-game series, I think Detroit is a problem for anybody in the East. So I think they're for real. And I say that the top four, the way that it stands, those are actually my top four teams. I think right now it's um, Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland. I think that's the order for the top four in the East. But my order in terms of who I think could probably take it all would be Detroit, Cleveland, Boston, New York. And Boston and New York is interchangeable for me. But yes, Detroit is for real. Well, what the question would be is Boston for real? And I think, Boston will have some figuring things to figure out because earlier we were also talking about whether Tatum is actually going to come back. And if Tatum does come back, then they got some adjustments to make, to say the least. But shit, getting somebody back like that if he's at full strength is nothing but a plus. It's just some chemistry and things may be thrown off, but I don't think it's a negative deal. Um, what you think, D. Rouse? You think Detroit is for real? Are you asking me that question because you think they're fool's gold? Oh shit, Denver done let OKC back in this. It's a 2-point game. In a 7-game series, D. Rowell says in a 7-game series, Boston might be questionable in my opinion. Um, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, they are a scrappy team. Jalen Brown has exceeded many people's expectations. Um, I know a lot of people were already calling it 1A, 1B with him and Jason Tatum, but people were questioning whether he could lead them as the number one guy, a solo act in the number one spot. And he's proven that he can. Um, 7-game series right now, D Rouse. if we are if we're looking at um, the way the seating would go right now, right? And I was looking at this earlier before you got on here, because we actually went over um, the four teams in the play in, which I think is definitely set in the West. The four teams in the play in the East may not be set. We'll see. If Milwaukee can make a late push and overtake Charlotte, we'll see. But right now, as it stands, Detroit would play Miami, Boston would play Orlando, New York would play Philly, and Cleveland would play Toronto. Um, so if we're looking at Boston and Orlando in the 7-game series, I think that could be a tough series for Boston. But I'll say that Charlotte is playing well here and there, but they're playing better. There's some games where they look like a decent team, showing some signs of uh, progress. I like Atlanta as a scrappy, uh, competitive squad. Not necessarily gonna win a series, but I think they could steal a couple of games, right? Or play a team to where the games are actually close. And that for the play in positions 7 through 10, Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte. My picks to come out of those would be Orlando and Atlanta. So I'd have Orlando at 7, Atlanta at 8. And then that would put Atlanta playing the Pistons in the first round of the playoffs, and still Boston playing Orlando. 48-46, Denver, OKC. This, like I was saying before they even switched to this game, I said this could probably be a preview of the Western Conference Finals. And this particular game today is probably going to go back and forth for the duration. Okay, now it's a 7-point game, but in a minute you'll look up and then it'll be it's a 2-point game again, right? So we'll see. But OKC, they'll be in the mix. D Rouse, if you're still in the building, I was saying earlier that the Spurs may be OKC's kryptonite. And they're 1-2, so they wouldn't see each other until the Western Conference Finals. But much like people were saying Detroit is the Knicks kryptonite, OKC, look out for the Spurs. They could be your kryptonite. Yeah, this gonna be a back and forth game. And I honestly, man, sometimes this, all these I'm just running and chucking up some threes. Like, is it exciting to watch? Let's see. They beat them 3 times this year already, right? Yep. You talking about Detroit, or you talking about the Spurs in OKC? Bong said that's not a hot take. OKC cannot beat the Spurs. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a hot take. I was just pointing out that much like people keep saying, which I don't even think is a hot take, that the Pistons are the Knicks kryptonite. Spurs got the same problem. I mean, OKC got the same problem with the Spurs. Yeah, the Spurs have beat them already, D Rouse, this season. Uh, um, a few times, because I think they played him in that in season tournament too. Which, I mean, surprisingly, some of those in season tournament games were actually decent. They actually ended up being all right. Yeah, I'm gonna go through the first half of this game and then call it a wrap. It'll probably be about an hour and wrapping up at about an hour and a half. But yeah, I mean, this it could come down to these two teams though, OKC and Denver out the West. And Bong, I don't think that's a hot take either. Like, um, right now, top 4 in the West: OKC, San Antonio, Houston, Denver. I don't know what Houston's gonna do. I don't think they 7-game series. I just don't see them. You know, I don't see them making it happen. But uh, you got a Kevin Durant. It's always any team with a Kevin Durant is always dangerous. But we'll see. I think outside looking in that 5th seed, I think Minnesota is more dangerous than Houston. And honestly, if we're being real, if you want to keep it real, I don't think Houston can beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. I think the Lakers going if it as it stands, OKC will play the Warriors. San Antonio will play Phoenix. Houston will play the Lakers. And the Lakers will get the Rockets up out of there in a first round. If the matchups stay that way, Houston will get knocked out by the Lakers. Big Baby Sports. Hey, appreciate you for subscribing, man. I was looking at some of your content earlier, man. I'm a definitely get on there and make sure I subscribe to your channel when I get off of here for sure. What's good, Scotty Boy? Scotty Boy said Houston is a joke of a team. Man, listen, I don't know if they're a if they're a true contender. I'll say that. Big Baby Sports. Listen, I know you're a Lakers fan. So tell me, um, do you think how do you think it would play out with the Rockets and the Lakers in the first round? Because they are the way that the standings are right now, that's who would be playing. Lakers versus the Rockets in the first round. Scotty Boy, you say you can't believe they didn't get a PG. Yeah, man. That seems to be their issue, and it wasn't necessarily addressed. So at this point in the season, I don't know if you're gonna get a vet late in the game and see what happens with that, but they are who they are at this point, right? And I don't see them I don't see them beating any of the other teams in the top 4. Let's start there. Would they beat Minnesota? in the 7 game series? Would they beat the Lakers? I'm saying no. Bong, you say Lakers were a 4 seed a week ago, fool's gold. Okay, even if you think the Lakers are fool's gold, with the breakdown I just gave, if their first round matchup is the Houston Rockets, who are you taking in that series? Scotty Boy said after what the Lakers did last night, they not beating nobody. Sorry, but Scotty Boy, which one is it? Is if it's out of Houston and the Lakers, who you got? Because you saying Houston, you just called Houston a joke of a team, and you saying Lakers ain't beating nobody. They sorry bums. Well, who's the worst? Who's winning? Lakers or Houston? Bong, Lakers or Houston? Who's winning? I'm not a Lakers fan, and I'm saying the Lakers could beat them in a 7 game series for sure. Okay, Scotty Boy, you say Houston over the Lakers. Okay, Lakers way worse than Houston. 7 game series, man. I don't know. I gotta see it. You're gonna have Austin Reeves running around, Luka Doncic running around, and if LeBron James can preserve enough energy to, you know, have a solid, consistent first round, Houston is out of there. He said Scotty Boy must have lost some bread on the late show last night. D Rouse, who you got? Lakers or Houston in the 7 game series? Lakers or the Rockets? 7 game series. Who you got? Lakers don't play defense. How they gonna win? I mean, shit. Half of the NBA don't play defense. That's nothing new. They're gonna win by putting up points. That's gonna be there. Listen, the Lakers are not sitting up here saying we're gonna be defensive stoppers and shut you down. It's can we put up enough points to outscore you tonight? Because we know we're not stopping you. Defense is not their priority. It's hey, play enough of it to get enough stops and key moments. We're gonna play defense in spurts. That's what they look like. And that's what half of the league looks like, to be honest. He say, I gotta go with Houston with the product these cats been putting out there. Okay. D Rouse, I'm just asking you to think about it and look at it from just I know you're a Laker fan and y'all probably upset with how your squad looks and the direction they're going in and the future and all the stuff and how things are going to shake down with LeBron and all that. There's a lot of stuff Lakers fans could be complaining about. I know. But we were talking about Boston playing well, and your question was in a 7 game series. So now I'm asking, in a 7 game series, Lakers in Houston, you just clearly think it's Houston? I don't know. What's up, Mel 90210? I'm assuming you out here in Cali too. Mel, I gotta ask you, if you're a basketball fan, I'm asking folks, uh, who is gonna win in a series out of the Lakers and Houston? Because currently they're headed for a first round matchup. So if it stands, who do we have? Lakers or Houston in the first round playoffs? See, D Rouse, look, D Rouse. The fact that you telling me Houston in 7, that means that shit could go either way. He said Houston in 7. Okay. I got another Houston. All right. Everybody is saying Houston. All right. So, and I'm saying this, look, I am not a Lakers fan. I'm just saying I could see them squeaking past Houston possibly. I'll call that a 50-50 series. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston wins. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers win. But I'm saying the Lakers will probably get them up out of there if it stays the way it is. He's Scotty Boy said 8 and 7 foot, but can't score more than 2 points. What a man, you Scotty Boy, you be ruthless, man. Did y'all hear what Aiton said? They got me out here trying to play like Clint Capella. Clint 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 Capella out here catching strays with Aiton talking about they trying to have me out here playing like Clint Capella. What the hell? But Capella said you got two of the top floor generals out there on your squad and you ain't making it happen. Like you got to get busy. Let's see. Bong says if the Lakers win, it'll be due to the division in the Houston locker room. Okay. All right. Listen. I'm gonna pull up Houston's squad right now because I wanna see where I would say I got the mismatch right. KD is obviously a mismatch. Who's gonna guard KD? That would be a problem. But who do you put on Luka? Are you gonna put Thompson on Luka? That could mean possible foul trouble. You know they're gonna give Luka the calls. So let's see if I'm looking at this. Uh, on paper, Houston should win, right? Houston should win. But on paper, you would think they'd be. Let's see, where are they right now? So they're at number 3. I say they are where they're supposed to be. If you just look at the squad and probably expectations, a 3rd seed, that's solid. Um, but if I told you Thunder, Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets, and just named those 4 teams, which team would you say is the weakest out of those teams? Thunder, Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets. Scotty Boy is on Aiton. Dang, Scotty Boy. Again, who would you say is the weakest team? Thunder, Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets. Who's the weakest team? Thunder, Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets. Out of that bunch, I would rank it Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Rockets. And then again, like I say, I'm not sure that the Rockets are better than the Timberwolves. I don't think that well, I don't know. I'm actually if I had to root for a team, and my squad is the Clippers, they're obviously not in it. But if I had to like say who I'd like to see win, it would be the Timberwolves. I'd like to see Anthony Edwards get a chip this year. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But it would be cool to see. All right, y'all. First half is up. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go watch this first half. Grab me something to eat and chill. Kick my heels up. Watch the rest of this game. But I appreciate y'all. I may get back on here possibly tomorrow. See if I can get the other crew other members of the crew, Bong and KP. We'll all probably be on here Sunday, but just be on the lookout possibly for something tomorrow as well. Make sure you check out all the channels we got going on. We're trying to get Two Peas in a Bong up to 1,000 subs, man. So if you're in here and haven't subbed already, we would definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you do. Nerdy Jerks is up above 1,000 subs, so that's one down, two to go, because we also have our basketball channel, which is running the wing. So we're hovering around like 700 something with Two Peas in a Bong. So definitely need y'all to support and sub and rock with us, man. Watch the lives, come talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? We just chill, talk about sports, life, all that. But yeah, holla at us. Appreciate all y'all. I'm about to get up out of here and I'll get back at y'all later.